What did we do? Oh, I we're at the spooky mansion in the spooky woods. Oh, good. Spooky wood mansion. Okay. This is fine. Oh boy, here we go. I will say, the first time I played this DLC, or the only other time I played this DLC, finding this area, the spooky woods, was actually kind of cool. I thought that this was really neat. That it's like, whoa, spooky woods. And then the winter lanterns appeared, and I'm like, oh good, you brought these fucking things back. Thanks. Winter lantern fly. Winged insect carrying a dangling frenzied flame grape. Material used for crafting items. Said to be heralds of the aging untouchable. On seeing these, the wise know to stay well clear of that place. This one disturbs you? Image in the top right. What's wrong with putting Picatinny rails on a rocket launcher? It's a modified American copy of the RPG 7, manufactured for U.S. allied nations who are accustomed even to Soviet-style weapons. Huh. It's interesting. Wouldn't think about that. Elden. Okay. You want to put Picatinny on your forearm so you can use the laser sight for your aim? To aim your fist. Ah. Okay. Whoops. Wrong spell. We're committed. Why did he do so much damage? Oh my lord, I gotta find more skibbity fragments. Okay, it's only been a week. I can remember how to play this game. Weak foe ahead. Ha 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 ha. Wait. There we go. Back in your day, missiles were either weirdo wired guided shit or just a tube you carried on your back pocket. Now these newfangled rails you youngsters have with your computer-guided humdrum. Takes old man hat, yeah. I'm asking why a DLC elite enemy does damage. Yeah. Ooh, can we get... Oh, triple kill. What is this horse shit? I love this. I like the spooky mansion. It feels very Bloodborne-esque. Not really, but it makes me think of Bloodborne. I think of Castle Canehurst. I can't wait to play Bloodborne again. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen eventually. Probably when Elden Ring is done. Will it be emulating? Yes, it will be my Elite Advanced PS4. My overclocked PS4. My... Trying to figure out the wheeled piles of stuff on the floor. I think it's supposed to be like books, like, cause it's like all these shelves. These are supposed to, I think it's supposed to be piles of like burnt and semi-burnt books. This is my first time through this is my second time playing the DLC, but my second time since it's come out. Like, I played it when it came out, however many years ago, and not since. So I barely remember this. This is like only my second time. Bookcases, classic. Is it different armor? Yes. We beat last time the mage lady, Relana. This place was a university, a place for erudition and study. Oh, it was, oh, fuck. God damn it. It was, oh god, I can't, it's been so long since I played, but what is the place called in Bloodborne? Bergenworth. It's Bergenworth. That's what it's called. Yeah, we beat Relana, who was like a mage knight lady, and really gotta stop pausing to explain the armor I'm wearing. And we have her armor. It's boss armor. It's like, it's essentially like a straight upgrade in almost every way from the Carrion Knight armor we were wearing, and has the cool sort of like, again, mage knight look it's got the blue sash with the silver armor. Bergenworth. I gotta fucking, I gotta play Bloodborne. I gotta get that set up. I saw like a couple minutes of a streamer play it last night, and I'm like, and I didn't watch anymore because I didn't want to spoil myself. I wanted to be fresh. Gives you Fate Stay Night Saber vibes. I know what those words mean. Armored skirt things on the sides. Yeah. Surging Frenzied Flame. Is that the thing that the FP to spew Frenzied Flame? I don't think the Lord of Frenzy Flame knows to use a Bloodborne reference. What are you making me click on? Oh, that character. Yeah, I know nothing about that character. I've seen them on the internet. But that's it. Oh, this reminds me of another game, this area. Like this specific sort of like weird hallway. Hello. How's it going? That's a Grace. Oh, fuck it. I'm going for the Grace first. Everything alright? It's a reference for Sony to let FromSoft do a sequel. It's not gonna happen. Sony, 10 more live service games. We need 10 more live service games, and 8 of them need to flop. Come on, let's do it, Sony. Me and you. Igon. Oh, oh, lots of rats. Keep the Concords rolling. Like the meme of like re-release Concord, petition to re-release Concord again because we were all busy that weekend. Please, Sony, you know, something like that. Highguard had an SMG with a I like how you highlighted had an SMG. Burst machine pistol with sawed-off stock grip, triple hammer, action barrels. So, I don't think you have to have, like, especially if you're doing like something really weird. Like, I recently played Witchfire, which is a game that has like very weird guns that are like magical and like very special, and like they're clearly not like they're clearly out there, and they're not like real in terms of the thing, but they feel like they work, like they feel like they have a function. You didn't remember what Highguard was? Lord Frenzy Fan hits different to the Bloodborne AST. Actually, listen to it. Okay. You're not paraphrasing. That's what the voiceover of the trailer said. Oh, good. My oh, hello. Where have you guys? So like, I'm not against doing weird guns in games. I think it's just that like when you look at something like I don't know why I would be bringing this up. Starfield. There's some loser on the internet who just today put out another video talking about Starfield, talking about the guns in Starfield. You should probably not see that video. But like Starfield's guns feel like there's no connection to like the world. They don't tell you anything about the world. They don't have any they don't have any sort of like logical reason to exist in the state that they do. You know, we're yapping against Star Peak. I feel like this is a trap, me stepping here. Is there someone's gonna fall from the ceiling? No? Almost like no design doc was used. Yeah. And when you go through all of those guns one by one, you start seeing how like the guns were clearly like made in batches by a single developer, or maybe like a couple designers. Like when you look at how when you look at how like I think sometimes like different companies of guns in that game, like all of the I don't even remember what they're called, but like I can't even remember what the companies are called, but like some of them feel like, okay, this was clearly made by like the devs, like the same dev, like because they share similar nuts, like stupid things. Like the breach and like the negotiator. Oh, the breach, the God, so the negotiator is like a rotary rocket launcher in Starfield, and it's got like a rotary barrel. And holy shit, there's a typo on the side of the gun, and it's like, how do you like such a lack of care on the side of the gun? There is a sentence that's it's clearly meant to be state of the art weapon frame, but there's no R in art, so it says state of the at weapon frame. And it's like, how did this get to the to publish? How did this get out there? How did you not notice that? How did you make that, texture it, all that, like do all of the stuff, and no one corrected it? And it's like, it's little things. It's just little things. There doesn't seem to be much naming schemes for each manufacturer too. No, it does seem like they just kind of name, like the one I'd say there is like one type, the cowboy guns. I don't remember what the company is called that makes them, but all of like the cowboy flavored weapons, they have sort of like Westernish names for the most part. Like, what's it called? Like, they have like Lawgiver. It's like, oh, it's like, okay, Rattler. Okay, you know, it's like a snake. You get it, cowboy? Tombstone. Stuff like that. But then even there, some of them still don't make sense. Like, one of them's called the Bridger. It's like, I don't get it. Why is it called the Bridger? One of them's called the Razorback. Is a Razorback like a Western thing? Is like a Razorback like a is that like a term for like a snake or something? Or like, I don't know. What is a Razorback? You know, I was going to, I wondered if I was going to, for that video, if I was going to do the, missing a hidden wall. I was wondering, I wasn't sure if I was going to do the DLC weapons. I considered it, I even took footage of them, and the reason I didn't do it is because they didn't feel interesting. There's an illusory wall, okay. Because like the DLC, the Terran Armada DLC adds 2 guns that are essentially just like space ARs. They're very, very dull. One of them shoots lasers. Space AR and laser space AR are super interesting concepts. Like there would be very little for me to say other than it's like they just clearly took like an AR and made it an AR. And like kind of spaced it up a little bit. Like, ooh, it's in white. And it's got like, you know, but other than that, it's, or one of them, oh, it has a laser. There are 3, I didn't find them while playing the DLC on stream. There are 3 other guns from the Terran Armada DLC. There are, oh god, what are they? There is a grease gun. There is the M3 grease gun from World War II. There is the a Luger, and there is a oh, what's the final one? A Webley revolver. so yeah. Where is this wall I'm missing? Is it in this library? Oh, I didn't even notice it disappeared. I'm fucking so dumb. So so yeah, you have those 3 guns, and like, that one of them is called the. They're all called the Ancient guns. So there's the Ancient submachine gun, the Ancient, or like Ancient Earth submachine gun or something like that. Ancient Earth pistol, Ancient Earth revolver, I think is what they call them. And it's really funny. There's a fingers hidden underneath the tarps. What? Oh. Like these? One thing about the guns you couldn't get over was the caseless ammo. Probably one of the worst choices for sci-fi. I genuinely don't know why they what their obsession with having caseless rounds was. I think it was literally just like caseless rounds are science fiction-ish. Oh, fuck. Ow. Caseless rounds are sci-fi-like, therefore we will use caseless rounds in the future. So caseless rounds have like a significant amount, like there's a reason why caseless rounds were tried and that they never really took off, is that they have issues of their own. They have a lot of issues, and you know, maybe it would be something that would get what's it called? That would get like, maybe the issues that maybe would be solved if they were used more, if they were like, you know, there was more time. You know, like standard sort of cartridges have been around for a good long while now. And they've had a lot of their issues sort of hammered out. Aren't rockets technically caseless? Well, it's different because a rocket is like it's like a different sort of system. Like a rocket it's technically, I guess you would say, caseless, but it's also like self-propelling in a way. I don't know what the correct way of describing it would be. Like a rocket is like sort of the whole thing goes. There's no like powder that is burned in terms of like a even in a caseless round there's some sort of propellant that is burned in the gun. And with a rocket, the big thing you have to deal with in a rocket is exhaust. You have to have some way of getting rid of all the exhaust coming off the other end of the rocket, right? Which is why when you look at lots of like rocket launchers and other such sort of weapons, there's a tube where that exhaust has to go. Which was one of my criticisms of one of the Starfield guns. I really like the Bridger. The Bridger is a rocket weapon. It doesn't really have anywhere for the propellant to go, like for the rocket exhaust to go. Sci-fi space guns. You know, space is commonly known for being great at dispersing heat. That's an issue. One of the things, of the many things that the case in a cartridge does, one of the things is that the brass helps to extract heat. So the brass case of a cartridge, you fire the cartridge, and that case is ejected from the gun. That case will carry a good amount of that heat out of it. Because it's brass, it's metal, and it will absorb some of that heat and take it out of it as the gun is ejected. It's why brass is hot after it's fired. It's actually that is one of the issues with caseless rounds, is that there's not, you don't have that heat, you don't have that heat absorption. You don't have something that is absorbing heat, acting essentially as a heat sink, and then being ejected from the gun to clear it. It's one of the things that they found when doing things like the G11 was that without that heat extraction from a case, that heat would build up in the barrel, or in the chamber, excuse me, and more than on like a standard gun firing, you know, traditional cartridges. And that's an issue because another thing the case does is separate the propellant, the powder in the gun, from the hot chamber of a gun. So that case you fire a burst of rounds, that chamber has now gotten hot. Another round goes in and it stays there for, you know, a couple seconds or whatever. That case helps keep it from the hot chamber from heating up the powder and it igniting. Well, in a caseless round, the case itself is made often of the combustible powder, or like the propellant, excuse me. And now that's now in a hot chamber. If you fire enough caseless rounds, will that chamber get hot enough that the next caseless round that goes in there, could it ignite the propellant and cause an accidental discharge. What if you had a gun with a heatsink that makes up for the insulation of space, then when it overheats, you could fire the heatsink as an explosive projectile? That's like a Mass Effect gun, isn't it? That's almost the Mass Effect weapons. That's the whole, that's like the whole kind of like a similar thing that they do in Mass Effect. Speaking about other science fiction universes that make their world more sensical, the idea is that guns in Mass Effect just build up heat, and what you're ejecting and reloading them with is essentially another heat sink to absorb the heat buildup. Is it perfect? No, but another thing that I think works for Mass Effect is that Mass Effect is like there's enough like explanation and things seem advanced enough that you can hand wave a lot of like the sort of the nitty gritty away, because they don't bring too much attention to it, and they don't try to like, and it's futuristic enough for you to ignore like any of the issues for the most part. You don't ever feel like, what? Where with Starfield, a lot of the guns in Starfield are just like guns that we have, but they're just firing caseless rounds, and they have like really weird sort of design choices. I like some of the guns in Starfield, the barrel is square. Like the barrel itself, not the exterior of the barrel. The barrel itself is square, and it makes you wonder, like, so the person who made this gun, who designed this gun, didn't know that caseless rounds aren't square, like the bullet itself isn't square in the caseless round. It's like caseless rounds are often rectangular, but the inside that rectangular block is a standard like bullet with like a pointed nose, you know. Oh shit, we're here. Guns in Mass Effect have a giant block of metal inside, usually tungsten. They break off a piece and fire it as a projectile, giving them so much ammo that they never need to reload in combat. Yes, that is the way it works. I think a heat mechanic would be great for energy weapons in Fallout, since like something like that hasn't been done in any of the games. Yeah, that could work. Alright, time for like the most brutal cutscene. Actually, do we want to... Rune Arc for this. Get that little bit of extra juice. Hey there, man. Oh, right, you have to, right. I forgot about this part. This is a brutal, this cutscene is one of the craziest things they've ever made. This cutscene would fit right in Bloodborne.
Enough. I have endured more than enough.
Oh man, felt bad.
You forgive me, dearest Nanaya.
Fuck. Oh, good noises, guys. Good noises, devs. Good job. Good job on those noises. Those noises, good job. Should be using Radahn's Great Rune. I haven't gone to the tower yet. I hate climbing that tower. Damn. Stand still, please. Don't attack me. Ah, you fucker! Fuck. I don't remember anything about this fight. No, that's not good. Maybe we go get that rune. I don't have many arcs left. A square barrel could work for shotguns. Shotguns are smoothbore anyway, and a square carrier would allow for more pellets per shell. Yeah, maybe. I'm looking at chat, and all I see is a giant Kayla dog. Great cutscene. The fate of the blacks and players who left unknown to imagine the head pops out. Totally wasn't to spare the animators from another week of work. Honestly, I wonder how much of that is like, is this going to, if we show this guy literally like ripping his own head off, is that going to like bring sensors down on our head? Because like these games are brutal, but that's like a particular, that's like particularly brutal. I hate this place. Personally, I would have wanted to show them the decapitation. I think they do enough. I think it's very clear what is going on. What is Splitterheads? I'm pretty sure it's clear what's going on. Oh. I don't remember. You don't you use torrent here? You use torrent here? You're fucking kidding me. Now what? What if we just... You need to be up on the archway you fell from. Ugh. It almost feels like a mistake doing this. Like just running, like doing this platforming up here. At least they made a way for you to actually get here instead of having to restart, like having to fast travel or die and restart. Ugh. Open. And we gotta take the elevator still. Listen, I don't believe that they could make these towers. This is totally breaking my immersion. Sorry, I just have to block a bot on Twitter. That I had a first. I usually get Twitter bots, and they usually just follow me on Twitter, and I just remove them quietly. One of them actually sent me a message being like, "I love your stream. You should, what's it called? You should, or I love your stream. I want to share something with you. Can I share something with you?" And it's like, block, 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 block. Go away. Architecture of the Divine Towers seems to be older than everything else to you. It seems like they might have been around since the dragons were in charge. They're like, oh, hello, my fellow humans. Yeah. Alright, let's get rid of that. Great run. Raises maximum PTD levels of messages. Yeah, I don't trust that. I don't trust you, bot. Oh. That was more juice. Does it go straight into... Do I still have to, like, kill him? Or does it go straight into frenzy? I still have to kill him. Quick. Summon Oleg. Don't attack me, don't attack me. Why do I do that every time? Alright, let's try our old reliable. Stab him. Ugh. Thank you, Oleg. Pull aggro. Whoa. No, I forgot to drink my physic for more damage. Shit. Okay. Thank you, Oleg. Good tanking. Oh wow, that was a lot of runes. I've wondered how bad can you, like... I know that there's an infinite source of runes in this game. In most of the Souls games, there's always a way to get runes. But, like, it's clear that the boss fights are meant to give you a whole pile of, you know, souls, runes, whatever, to level you up. What if you just, like, fucking lose them all? What if you purposefully or some accidentally just lose every chunk of runes you get from a boss? How much would that affect you? Would you have to just end up doing a lot of grinding? 2, okay. Vigor. What am I looking for? What are we doing here? I need more. Still need more intel. Little dex for the spell speed. Little spell speed. In terms of scaling, it isn't that bad to get behind in terms of levels. You personally wouldn't really care, especially with stat caps. Okay. More health, and health is always... Is 50... Like, what is the cap... What is, like, when should I stop leveling vigor? 50? $55, okay. So then actually I will put some more into health. What's the intel cap? 70 or 80? I think it's 80, right? Like that's when it's you start having diminishing returns, right? For sorcery. You hit 120, 80 is the definitive second cap. Okay, so 80 is the end for that. Squeeze out as much damage as we can. Well, that's the spooky woods. So I wanted to end up here in this valley with this area here. And I ended up in the spooky woods. And I thought I was going to, at a point, end up in the mountains with the Dragon Mountain. How do I get to the spooky woods? Is there a way down into this area from here? $40 to $50 is where diminishing returns show up for vigor? Okay. Raru? I don't know. You think I know the names of places in this game? You go to the Shadow Keep for that? Okay. So the Shadow Keep takes me down to that valley, right? I swear you could have, like... I can't bring up the map right now. Oh, I've been here before. Yeah, no, we're not getting down there from up here. Are you kidding me? Late games areas give so many runes, it's ridiculous. Unless, like, wait, I gotta go back. No. Never mind. I thought there might have been a way down. Let me open the map. Oh, I have to also fight man. So much darker than the base game. You don't have the giant shining Erd tree wherever you are. There we go. Where were we in the shadow? We got distracted and we ended up in a bunch of different locations. I guess back to the main gate. Oh, right, the shortest distance between two graces in, like, the entire game. Alright, yeah, if we open that... Oh, okay, I remember where we are. I remember. We went down that other path, and then we ended up in those spooky woods. What's that area even called? It's like Abyssal Woods with the winter lanterns. Yeah, I haven't gone further than this. I remember the red guy, and I'm like, oh, I kind of remember the red guys. There's been, oh, there go all my swords. There's been, discourse, and I hate the term. There's been discourse on Twitter about people who are fans and people who hate Elden Ring yelling at each other and saying why one game is good and one game is bad. Also, a bunch of similar discourse talking about like, a lot of, stuff about how, like, boss fights and trial and error in this style of game, playing games the correct way. There was some interesting there was someone was like, there was some interesting comments by people being like, you know, like, people who clearly view that the only correct way to play these kind of games is with a big sword and just bonking everything. That people who very much are like, if you don't spend all your points into health and strength and just use the biggest sword you can find, you're clearly not playing this game correctly. Someone unironically using the term LARP. Imagine LARPing as a wizard in this game when you could just want to actually, like, hit things with a sword. And a lot of people were making fun of him. It's like, dude, it's a role-playing game. That's what the point is. People talking about how you could, like, was that a seam in the world? Ooh. That's funny. People talking about, oh. Oh, neat. People talking about, gaming discussion died a long time ago. You always saw the strength build thing as a meme. It's like, some people, like, you know, one of the interesting ones that I found, or one of the conversations I found interesting, was talking about the idea of trial and error in these games. And it's like it's a very interesting thing where there's a lot of, so it was talking specifically about Elden Ring, and in a negative way was saying the fact that, saying the idea that the game, like, you have to, that it's so weird. It's like they're saying like, okay, trial and error in these games is bad, especially in Elden Ring, because you have to like learning like oh god, I wish I saved it, but it was something along the lines of like learning how to fight the bosses through trial and error is bad, is essentially what their argument was. And there was a lot of people echoing similar things, and it's like I don't understand, like that's the way you do it in all of these games, because you can't know what, if for your first time through, you can't know what the boss is going to do, like, you know, automatically. Like you might have an idea because, you know, of the way the boss looks. If they're similar to other ones that you fought before, you can kind of guess, but like you don't know for certain, so you're gonna have to just like sight read the boss. You got to just be like, okay, what? Oh, he's swinging his sword. Is it gonna be a magic attack? Is it gonna be something? Oh, you know, and then you get hit or you dodge the attack, and now you know for next time. You remember a guy talking shit about your build one time? I was night maxing with a straight sword and shield, and he called you a casual for using a shield. To the people who've never known failure in reality. But yeah, have you considered that spells are gay and Big Bonk is based? See, a lot of people think like, there's a lot of people who, if they don't defeat the boss in one go, that it's a failure of design on the boss. And it's like, I don't know how you could see it that way. You know what I mean? Like that, like there is a good feeling to finishing a boss on the first try, to like getting it done. Like that's satisfying. That feels really good when you do it, because you're like, oh man, I had no idea and I beat this boss. That's cool. But like that, it's not a negative to have to learn how to fight the boss through trial and error. I was thinking about it, and like every single one of these games, going as far back as Dark Souls 1, I think like the way that the game works is like with bosses is a combination of mainly two things: your character build, and then having to learn how the boss works. So you have a character build. Your character is using a sword and a shield. Your character is using magic. Your character is using a big two-handed sword. Your character is doing parries or using like some sort of dex weapon. And part of it is you mastering your build. It's getting new weapons, getting new items, learning how to use all of the parts of your build effectively to defeat enemies. And then the second half, oh great, VTube Studio just crashed. And then the second half of the game is the fuck, now I lost my train of thought. The second half is learning how to what the boss does. You know, is learning that, okay, so this boss has these attacks, he does this, this, and this, and essentially for your build, learning what the boss does and adapting to those abilities and effectively using your build against the boss's mechanics. Now I gotta read all your stuff. Sorry, I was talking a lot. It's too late. You've drawn me as I've drawn you as the Soy Jack and the strength build as the Chad. I don't like Magic and Souls games. This is more of a you thing, so you don't really go out of your way to say how people should play the game. People nowadays are pretentious enough to accept that X game isn't for them. I feel like there's a bunch of different conversations about different things tangled up in that. Oh, there's a bunch of it. Like it goes all over the place. So like some people will talk about, like, it will be like these conversations start at like Elden Ring is bad or Elden Ring is good, and then someone will point out, it usually comes around to the boss fights, and what I usually see is people who dislike Elden Ring will talk about the boss fights relying on trial and error. And another thing is one of the big things that people have issues with is the idea that there's not enough, a lot of the fights don't have clear like ends to combos or like clear punish opportunities, and then someone will post a video of them no-hit run of them fighting that boss with like fist weapons. And I think it really comes from, and like from there it kind of just evolves into like a bunch of shit of like, oh, trial and error is bad, oh, this is bad, oh, the boss fights suck, the attacks are bullshit. And I honestly think I think a lot of these, I think a lot of the people they have literally played the one build their entire time in every Souls game. They have played nothing but the one build in every single game, and feel like they don't ever have to change how they've played in any sort of way. You know, that if their sword build, their great sword build worked 100% in that one game, it should work 100% the same way in the other game. And I think a lot of it too is old, you've played these games, like you've played maybe Dark Souls 1, 2, 3. You've maybe played these games like 500 times. Like you have probably put so many hours into these games, and then nowhere near enough, or nowhere near as much. I won't say enough, but nowhere near as much as you had, let's say, Elden Ring. And what happens is that it's this thing where it's like do you remember the first time you played Dark Souls or something like that? You probably had the same like opinions in terms of how you treat other games later on, like Elden Ring or whatever, because it was new. But like since you've played Dark Souls 1, 2, 3 for 600 hours, it's all second nature to you. You know, like it's all like, you know, all these fights back, like, you know, what's it called, like the back of your hand. These arguments always end retreading the same grounds. You literally played this game in DLC with the Unga Bunga build. Only a few bosses were hard. It's kind of frustrating how Margit have few attacks with fake openings, and there are a lot of delayed attacks. I still think the game has a lot of offer to offset those things. That is something that everyone, that a lot of people really don't like when I see this sort of conversation start, is the delayed attacks. It usually, in terms of complaining about boss mechanics, it falls into delayed attacks and very long combos by the boss. That's kind of what most people are critical of. Ow. So, like, I don't mind the delayed attacks as like a concept, because I get what they're trying to do. Because, like, I see why they're fucking annoying. And again, as someone who's mostly played this game as a ranged spellcaster, maybe I have like a different perspective, because I'm not getting that close up a lot of the times if I can manage it. You don't like how breath attacks linger on the... Yeah, I will say I have a huge... It's one of the reasons why I have disliked fighting dragon. I feel like that's not even an Elden Ring issue. I feel like that's just like been an issue with a lot of Souls games as far back as 1. The breath attacks, I feel like, always have inconsistent hitboxes. They have wonky hitboxes. It's hard to tell where the breath attack starts and where the breath attack ends, and it's difficult to like... It's difficult to parse that, and then you end up taking damage from something that looked to you like you were outside of its range. It's why I try to, like I said, I don't fight fucking dragons in this game, because I don't like that. Iris of Grace. Place on the eye to grant the light of grace as a fleeting blessing. Huh. Okay. Let me wrap it up. There's a guy on YouTube who showcases the most bizarre the attacks are. So yeah, there's like a huge discussion, and some of it, like, I get why people don't like a lot of this stuff, and I understand it. But then sometimes they like, where it's like, I get it, where like, yeah, I can agree that like some of these attacks are hard to read. I can get it that, yes, sometimes there's a lot of like issues with like seemingly very long combos. And I think for the combo one, I think a lot of them are like, I think a lot of the combo complaints, like the enemies having too long combos, I feel like a lot of people feel like they really need like an explicit opening, and I think I almost feel like I want to say like you should play Bloodborne in a weird way, where it's like you should have to what's it called? You have to sometimes attack. You know, you have to sometimes take that risk of like exposing yourself to an attack to break up a combo. That's sometimes the point where you're your opportunity to attack an enemy is sometimes in the middle of their combo and not necessarily at the end of it. And then, like, but the thing that gets me the most is, as we mentioned, is the trial. Oh, Elden Ring is bad because, or Elden Ring has like trial and error, or too much trial and error, and it's like I don't know what series you've played, because these games all have trial. Like that's a huge part of these games. That's a huge part of like most games is trial and error. Like is essentially. You have to, like, you don't know the, like, you don't have, like, you know, you can't magically, you know, have, like, oh god, what am I trying to say? What's the word? Precognition of, like, the boss fight, you know? So you have to, what's it called? You have to just hope that you get it. Strike you a game where you can overpower and interrupt an enemy. Well, that's the thing, is that, like, sometimes you can interrupt. Enemies do have poise states, and you can break an enemy's poise. It's just that, you know, you gotta learn. Oh, god, we can torrent here. Cool. Trial and error is a big part of FromSoft games. You can't shake the feeling that enemies' design is starting to somewhat degenerate and become flanderized by now. Give me an example. I want what like. It's not trial and error itself, but the fact that there seems to have fewer and fewer things to learn other than enemies' patterns. But like what I don't know what else is there to learn in these games other than the enemies' patterns. Talking from a melee build perspective. Even though the frustrations, it seems like there's a lot of player agency through skills and spells and such. Everything in this game is very doable if you think about resistances. I think a lot of people, part of it could be souls fatigue. I do agree. Yeah, part of it could be fatigue. You fucker. Oh, this leads to the other area, the up area. Oh, that's not where I want. I still haven't found the area I wanted to go to. Unless this is, no, we're on the plateau. Yeah. This valley here. I want to go here. I want to go into this valley down here. Where is the path into this valley? Because it's not up here, is it? I don't think it is. There a mini boss, by the way? Oh. Positioning, for example. Yeah, I'd say that positioning is an interesting. I feel like positioning kind of exists for the larger enemies, kind of. But I do agree that positioning. I see the thing is that like, yeah, I immediately think of the Gaping Dragon is a good example. Yes, I agree. That is positioning totally. More ruins, and then go north. North ruins, go north. Got it. Oh. So positioning is a good example in like Gaping Dragon. The thing is though is that I think the reason why that doesn't exist as much anymore is because I think it was just very cheesable. There's a lot of time like it doesn't like at what point is it that okay, we're in a position now where this boss can like barely attack us because it's too big. How do we like counter that? And I think the idea was, okay, we'll make bosses more mobile, even if they are large. And take the dancing lion fight. What are you going to use the dancing lion fight as a positive or a negative? Because I saw a lot of people, the clips I saw, were people going like, "Oh, dancing lion fight. Here's me fighting it without being touched, and with like with using fucking dual fist weapons." Oh, good. Dancing Lion is okay. Camera's awful. That was one thing I saw in the clip I saw was they were very good at using at unlocking the camera when it was a smart idea to. I think that's something else that, and I know it as someone who plays a sorcerer build in this game, where like you almost need to, you know, you have to use the lock on because that's just kind of how it works. Is that, yeah, keeping your camera locked on at all times will sometimes fuck you. Someone should play to start dodging abstract art. I think another thing is that people don't like the jump. A lot of players don't know the concept of turn the lock on off. Yeah, I'm bad at it. I'm bad at it in all these. Okay, now this is where I was taught. Thank you for showing me this. I'm bad at it. I have the same issue in every Souls game. I'm bad at going like, okay, turn the lock on off. Turn the lock on off. You don't need it to have it on every second. But yeah, I think another thing is that with Elden Ring is that is the jump attacks. I think jump is it's something I can't fucking I have like this time I did when I fought the lion, dancing lion, I actually used the jump jump dodge like a couple times and was actually like, whoa, holy shit, it worked. I didn't eat shit on this attack. For bosses would be good. Problem is learning the patterns. Problem is the pattern is the be-all end-all of if you get what you're saying. See, I just don't know like what. But like I feel like that's like it's like diluting it and saying that like, oh yeah, the boss mechanics, that's all that's there for the boss fight. It's like the pattern is, it's not necessarily like the pattern, it's the mechanics of the fight. And it's that, I could just say, yeah, you have to learn the mechanics of a fight. You have to know what that boss does when they telegraph an attack. What are they about to do? That is the mechanic, and it is memorizing like a pattern, and it's executing that pattern correctly in regard to dodging the enemy's attacks, dodging the boss's attacks, while using whatever your build is to deal damage to them. So yeah, that's a boss fight. That's a boss fight in most RPGs. Well, look at my map. Fuck off. Patterns aren't everything. Yeah, well, that's what I mean when I say like a lot of times a lot of times people saying this are people who feel like they're like, oh yeah, my greatsword build is like the only thing they do, and it's like, you know, there's different, like, there is no thought often from I'm not saying you necessarily, Lucius, there in chat, but I see, like, yeah, there are certain weapon skills, spells, you can interrupt your... There is rarely ever the thought that they need to perhaps adjust what they are doing in the fight. That if their build doesn't win after, you know, 2-3 tries, there's clearly something wrong with the fight itself. Fuck. You know, like, I remember seeing a lot of... I see a lot of streams... I remember seeing a lot of streams of this game, the base game and the DLC, when they were coming out, when they came out. And oftentimes, you would see someone get really frustrated with a particular fight. Oh my fucking god. You would see someone with a... you would see someone get really annoyed with a particular boss fight, and the way that they ended up finishing the boss fight was by somehow changing up their style of playing. They would switch to a different weapon, they would equip a different talisman, they would use a buff, they would switch what Spirit Ash they were using, something like that. They would stop using their heavy attack and focus more on lights, you know, that they somehow had to adjust. Subs discover this channel, want to pop and say hi, hello. Tried to Starfield. Why does every gunshot in that game sound unenthusiastic? Yeah, the gunshots in Starfield are... The sound design is very poor. I didn't really touch on that because it was... How many times can I say the gunshot sounds like shit? You know, I guess 37 times I could probably do it, but... It is very, very, very disappointing where they clearly did not care too much about how those guns, the sort of, the feel of the guns with how they shot and how they sounded. Lane doesn't know how to handle Dragon Maw because it can space her and knocks her over. There's a lot of heavier weapons that can stagger her as well. I saw someone do a no-hit fight with Melania, and the way that they did it is they didn't, like, whenever they had, like, an opportunity in one of, like, in between one of her combos, they hit her, and oftentimes they were able to stagger her very easily. And a lot of people were saying it's like the main like, that's her weak spot, is that she has very low poise. So she can be staggered very easily, even during the middle of one of her combos. And that it's like, again, it comes back to the thing where, like, a lot of people play very sort of like, I guess I have to wait for her to stop before I attack. And the thing is that she like, rarely ever stops. She just keeps going and going and going and going. I'm not really trying to defend Elden Ring per se as much as I'm trying to defend the idea that, like, trial and error is, like, a part of these games. It's a part of most games, is, you know, not knowing what you're doing and having to figure out what you're doing, for lack of a better term, right? I'm guessing the map is probably actually up there on the is it up there on the peninsula? Or, like, on the... Or is it down here? Is 37 the limit? I think there's 37 guns in Starfield's base game, I think. I don't remember. I'd have to look it up, I think. I just did a video on it and I can't remember. But... Did a whole build that primarily used the Axe Talisman Warcry buff to fully charge strong attacks. Just running into some enemies will interrupt them before you land a hit. Someone who plays Monster Hunter, you feel there's very few consistent skills that a boss teaches you that you can apply to others. No, it's down here? Oh, okay. Well, I don't think that... I think that's like a... I think that that's just two different ways to approach... Oh, here it is. Okay. it's two different ways to approach the like a boss fight. Like, I don't think that it's necessarily that one boss should have to teach you something that you learn or that you apply to another boss. And I don't think that every boss has to be different. I think you can do a mix of those, or you can say, well, we're going to make it so that every fight is sort of its own thing. And so you're not going to be able to necessarily take boss A's style and apply it to boss B, or like, you know, how you fought him. But that's the sort of like thing where it's like each thing is like each boss is a new encounter. But then you could do it the other way, where it's like this mechanic is countered by this mechanic. You know, it's like, okay, so if boss A or B or C does this, you know how to counter it. Like, either way, I think it's just a style of how you want to do your boss fight design. Were monsters in Monster Hunter supposed to teach me anything? You just wail on them with a hunting horn, and there you have it. We have the Monster Hunter equivalent of the two-handed ultra greatsword build. Oh, fucking come on. What the fuck? Fun. Wait, who said why the boobas? That got filtered out. That was like 30 minutes ago. I'm sorry I didn't see you. Oh, that was Pontius. He was here. I didn't even say why the boobas. I have two VTube models. One of them is boobas and the other one is not boobas. Or is man boobas. Like, even if it's similar attack, the unique animations and pacing and the fact that the dodge is the be-all, end-all of evasion. It's more about learning the boss specific timing and not the attack. I don't think that, like, see, the thing is that, like when you say that the dodge is the be-all, end-all of evasion, it's like it's not like a get-out-of-jail-free card, though. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you can, like, you see it when you see... I'm gonna do it again. I'm gonna die right again. I'm gonna do it again. It's gonna happen again. Ugh. What happens is, like, when you see, like, you start seeing people panic roll, and they end up eating shit because, you know, they're just, like, dodging and hoping the iframes save them. You know, dodging is a very useful tool in these games, but it's definitely not, like, I don't think it's as, like, not broken, as powerful as people think it is, because if you try to abuse it, you end up just eating shit. Demon Souls bosses didn't teach much, most of them just had some central gimmick. So I remember people, I haven't played Demon Souls, but I see a lot of people talking who would bring up, like, oh, the older games, and then, like, people be like, you remember Demon Souls? Like, half the bosses in that game are just, like, gimmicks, or have, like, a very specific, like, quirk, like, that you have to deal with. And the golden dude at the beginning slams the ground, it's an AoE, but the animation and timing mean that you're not learning how to deal with AoE attacks in general, just the specific timing. First example you can think of. Exaggerated, you mean, is that the timing and context end up being more specific than the hitbox movement and other functions. So, let the first comment. So, you're learning how to deal with that specific AoE attack, not that you're learning that specific one's timing and not AoE attacks in general. Is that a bad thing? Because I don't see that as necessarily, like, a bad thing. I don't think having like to learn each individual boss's sort of AoE attack tell is like a bad thing. Saying, like, I don't. Are you saying it's bad? I want to like. Is that like a negative that it's not teaching you about AoE attacks in general? Because I don't know. I don't see that as like a. I don't see that as like a negative. I see that just as sort of like a design choice. That's how they're gonna do it. I'm not gonna say trial and error, gone too far, just that starting to focus too much in only some aspects of learning instead of the whole deal, and it continues to get more and more intense and will have a negative impact on discouraging the learning and focusing on finding the most OP build that takes all the fun out of a challenging fight. So, I don't... It's weird because it's... like... It goes all... it's so weird because I see like the opposite argument in that there's many people who will say that like... I don't know, like... The game... Like, a lot of people would... This was their first Soulsborne. Souls-like, whatever you want to call it. And many people think that this is like one of the easiest games that From's ever made in terms of like Dark Souls 1, 2, 3, Bloodborne, Sekiro, Demon Souls. And that this was like very open to newbies. And like, I don't know, like, are the games getting easier? Are they getting too like watered down, or are they getting too crazy? I'm really looking forward to playing Bloodborne again after so long, because I want to remember that game more. I want to be able to compare it to things like this. Because I saw a stream like I said, I mentioned it. I saw a stream last night of someone playing Bloodborne. And I was actually surprised how much faster it was than this game. Like, I am genuine. I was like, I watched for like 5-10 minutes, and the attacks, like the how fast your character attacks, how fast your character moves, how fast your character dodges, how fast enemies can move and attack and such. And it's like, it's like, wow, holy shit, it makes you look slow in this game. And Elden Ring is probably the fastest. It's faster than Dark Souls 3. It's faster than any of the other Souls games, but it still felt slow. And so I'm not really sure if, like, is it getting more complex? Yeah, is it getting more complex, but is it getting easier? Is it, like, focusing too much on dodging or whatever? Winning a boss is a combination of general skill and boss-specific feel. I feel like Souls games lean towards the latter. Boss-specific skills. I think it's fairly both. I also missed something you said earlier. Sorry, I got exaggerate hitbox. No, I was reading that right. Sorry, yeah, no. Getting easier either. Played every Souls game multiple times. Elden Ring has the most options to make it easy, but it's middle difficulty FromSoft if you don't use those options. I kind of agree. I don't think this is like, this might not, I don't know, like it could be the easiest in terms of like there are so many tools in this game's toolkit that are essentially up to you to use and find. It's not the game's getting too hard either. Oh, okay, sorry. Like, you've got spirit ashes and so many different spells and so many different buffs and different so many weapons have different like stances or different arts of war, ashes of war. I keep calling them arts of war. You know, all these things. It's got probably the most ways to make it work. Yeah. But oh, I don't want to do a catacomb. No, why did I knew this was a catacomb. I'll grab the bond grace fire. Might as well. How many of those are viable, though? I would say like I don't know, like a fair bit from what I've seen. I've seen a lot of people do a lot of different builds. I've seen people do great hammer builds. I've seen people do different flavors of magic build. Well, maybe I've actually not seen that many people do magic builds, to be honest. I've seen people use miracles and like do paladin builds. I've seen people use the dragon stuff. I see a lot of people using like a lot of different weapons over the course of a build, switching between different weapons and different you know, abilities. Like there's and there are some ones that are like there are some like I saw a streamer, he's doing like a paladin-esque build, and he's using the, is it like the Godslayer sword, the one that's like it shoots fire, like you swirl it, it's like got a curve and it's got like it uses it has like two follow-ups. It does like, you do like one slash that has like a black flame, and then like another slash that's an even bigger black flame like explosion, and that one is like it's nuts. That he's oh god, like what he's doing with that is insane. Okay, now I need to know, how do you get to the mountain? I've forgotten how to get to the mountain. Is it just literally follow this path? Is there like a path around here I missed to go to the mountain? Sometimes the tools that should work don't. Enemy attacks are designed to be jumped over, yet spells that literally lift the character off the ground aren't marked as jumping and still get hit. Well, is that just like is that just like not balance? Is that just like a mistake in development? That was just something that didn't those aren't broken. You've done shield only, incant only, dragon communion only, ballista cannon only. Most of the stuff in ER is viable. Like I said, I've seen. Oh, great! If I get fucking. Okay. Gonna get invaded again if I walk forward. I've lost my train of thought. What was I talking about? Oh, I've seen people do like no hit runs with fist weapons. You know, and it's and I guess now we have to now get into the nitty gritty. Like, what do you consider to be viable? What does viable mean? You know, like we have to start like establishing our terms. Like, what do we consider when we say a build is viable? What does that mean? Does that mean like, you know, it's like what like again, like I don't even know, how do we start with that? Like, effective to what end, to what point? Like, is something viable or something unviable? You know, if it's like a high skill floor, is it considered unviable? It's like, well, it just requires getting more skilled at whatever the fight is, or the ability is, or the build. You know, does it require a lot of specific gear? Does that make it less viable? If it requires you having to get like end game gear or some shit, why do I do this to myself? You would say usable against most things, not necessarily effective, just applicable. Okay, now, next, what does usable mean? Like, because you can use everything against everything, you know what I mean? Like, there's not anything that like stops you from using it against, using any weapon against anything. Like, you know what I mean? You're playing Dark Souls 2 Part 3. I am. As I knock over my chapstick. If you ever hear this during my stream, here, I'll try to simulate it. If you hear something like that, that's me knocking my chapstick over. when I'm trying to reach for it, I end up knocking it over. And it clatters. The animation starts, successfully ends, and accomplishes its goal, even. But, like, be more specific. Like, do you mean, like, for example, would you, like, so for, you can't, like, enemies are immune to, what's it called? Enemies in this game are immune, aren't they immune to frenzy? They're immune to frenzy and they're immune to destined death. So you can't do a PvP build where you just try to build up death on enemies or frenzy, right? So that would be considered, for, I guess, PvP's sake, that would be like an unviable build, or a less than viable build if you were trying to, like, use frenzy spells and frenzy weapons. Now, I have seen streamers use the frenzy weapons, and those things still do damage, and they were able to progress, but it clearly wasn't as smooth as if they were using fire or bleed or you know, scarlet rot, poison, whatever. You know, and I guess, like, another question would be how many things can a build no longer be as effective about? No longer as effective. God damn it! How many things in the game can the build not be effective against before it's considered unviable? Like, for example, the magic build. I'm using a sorcery build. Is this build effective against, what's her name? School lady. Fucking magic school lady. Renala. It's not as effective. It's not, because she's very resilient to magic. But does that one instance, or instances of that, you have Rocksling, yeah. Does that make a sorcery build unviable? I guess it's something tied to the open world design and quantity of content. So many options. If gear, spell, summons, it's just inevitable that some balancing necessary to keep a more well curated experience that doesn't get too easy, too hard would get more and more unreachable, you suppose. Yeah, I do agree that, like, with the more, like, you're going to have options that are going to be less effective and more effective because you have so many different spells and so many different weapons and so many different bows and swords and axes and maces and whatever, and they have all these different abilities, and you have all these different flavors of enemies. You have different flavors, they have different resistances, they have different health, they have different sizes even, they have different positions in the game world. The game world itself can make a build more and less effective. Like, for example, I don't, like, you know, a ranged build, whether it be magic or you're using a bow or whatever, is going to be very effective in certain areas where it's very clearly meant to be like this cave is an example. So you spawn in here, or you walk down here, there's a melee enemy here, and then there's a ranged enemy across the hall there. I was able to stand up there, kill the melee enemy from a distance, and then walk closer and then engage the ranged enemy, where if I was doing melee, it would be much harder, because I would have to get down here to fight him, or draw him up back down there to pull him away from the archer. And then similarly, they even do a little sneaky where if I go, okay, I'm going to pull him over here, where the archer won't be able to shoot us, it spawns 2 more enemies. But as a ranged build, I was essentially able to ignore this entire setup. This entire setup was essentially ignored. Which, you know, that's like, it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, if you're building a world with all these different builds, would it be fair to say that the vast majority of people, and, like, probably even the majority of builds, are melee focused in this game? Like, the game is more built around you getting close to the enemy and hitting them with some sort of melee weapon in general. which is, you know, one of the reasons why I think like a sorcery build can be so overpowered, range build in general, is that when you don't have to get close to the enemy, it makes a lot of things easier. Rock magic, pyroman, clearly effective against normal enemies. Frenzy spells have amazing DPS, often in PvE. Oh shit! Don't read the chat. Don't scroll chat. Secure the room. Overworld design brings more. Open world design brings more issues. Yep, yeah, it does. It is having an open world does bring a lot of issues in terms of designing encounters and having to balance things. Definitely. The idea of you now have to. So if the player can, in a linear experience, if the player can only approach an area from a single location, you can design a whole encounter around the fact that this is the only way in, the only way out. Where if you are... Nah. If you're doing a open world, you have to change that encounter because it might not work anywhere near as effectively if the player can just go around it or come from the side. Oh, hello. I thought those were just like... I thought that was honestly Bones, like, weird physics happening. Whoopsies. Isn't running up against difficulties the whole point of specializing a build? Having an easier time with some things and overcoming challenges in other areas is fun? Well, yeah, I agree. I think that not every build being exactly as... like, having different points of friction in the game based off of your build is a good thing. Having where it's like this area is so this area is easy for me because I am this build, and now this build is now, or this area is now harder for me with this same build, and then vice versa with another build, is I think good. But again, now I don't know what we're going all over the place. These conversations have a habit of sort of, when you're diving into the nitty-gritty of game mechanic stuff, and how approaches to making a game like an RPG like this, you end up starting to talk about, because all these things kind of these things clearly like intermingle. They're not; these aren't just islands of concepts. So we're talking about balance, and we're talking about viability, and we're talking about open world design and linear design, and then we're talking about whether or not something is easier or harder, and you know, like all these things. Oh god, we just. It's good. I like this, but it is because I feel like we've got how did this start? Trial and error, you know. Definitely have melee focus. It's gotten better with each title. I will say I'd say Elden Ring is probably the best of the best Soulsborne FromSoft title in terms of magic. I only ever played it again. I think I did a magic build in Dark Souls 3, and it was better than Dark Souls 2 and 1. And even now it's even betterer, where I feel like there was probably something where it's like some dev or, you know, was ever like, I'm going to make good magic. We're going to make the sorcerer build viable, like more viable, I would say. Because I think it was definitely viable in 3. But, and then we have to fight the 4 kings of New Londo. Oh no, we weren't wearing Artorias' ring. Ah. Oh god damn it, there is actually a fight down. Ancient Dragon Man! Dragon Man, take me by the hand. See, like, what I did there is like a lot of people would tell me it's like I'm not playing the game right. And if I asked them why, I would get probably two main responses if I asked someone with a more, not even purist attitude, that's not even right, like with a specific attitude. They would say, well, I used a summon. I used a Spirit Ash, so I essentially just had an NPC, fight for me. And then other people would say, you're playing a sorcery build, so you're clearly not playing the game correctly. You're not experiencing the same, like, you're not playing the game in the same way. You like Nier Automata's open world since it didn't feel like one. In some cases, it felt like a Metroidvania. Armored Core 6 is still your favorite from game? I liked Armored Core 6. Basically guaranteed that Elden Ring would never have something close to a standard user experience, not too dissimilar to many MMOs you would add. I don't know. I feel like, I think no, I don't think so, because if you have to, I feel like there is a standard user experience, because I feel like it would be difficult to like make a game if there wasn't some sort of like, if the devs were like, well, we have no idea what the players are going to do. We have like, there's not going to be a standard experience in terms, like, there is still, again, if you want to go down to really, 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 really fundamental, like, the user experience is that, like, they are fighting enemies with abilities. The enemies give souls, runes, and then you level up your character and you proceed to explore the world and fight bosses. And you defeat the bosses with your character's abilities and weapons. And that is like the standard user experience. But did you have fun? No. I think the MMO comparison is like, there is a standard user experience in most MMOs. Like, there is. Like, just because you're playing a different class than someone else, it's like the classes all have their own sort of, well, again, depends on what MMO you're talking about and what age, like what are you talking about. Like, in my mind, I immediately think of World of Warcraft, and I immediately think of how WoW has changed over the years, and how it's like there is a standard user experience. You are killing enemies and completing quests to gain XP, to level your character, to learn new skills and become stronger, to then proceed to do quests in higher level areas, and then do dungeons to receive loot, and then at max level, you are gearing your character up to then do the harder sort of content like raids and heroic dungeons later on and such. Armored Core, you have no iframes. You actually have to evade every attack by moving around it. Even with dash, each attack is required a different method of invasion: strafing, timing, dodge, flying. I liked Armored Core 6 quite a bit. Learning how to avoid Balteus's attacks. I did not like Balteus. That fight sucked. In terms of, it pissed me off. It was a good fight, but it was challenging. It was very challenging. It took me a while to beat that thing. I had to change. And you want to know how I beat Balteus eventually? I changed what I had equipped on my AC. I switched my weapons around. Lo and behold, I beat it. You like both martial and magic builds? Does that mean you're proper trash? Of course. It's funny, because like before Elden Ring, like I played Dark Souls once as a mage, like sorcerer build. And then like Elden Ring is like the only one where I'm like, I like sorcerer. I like this a lot. In Dark Souls 1, 2, and for most of my time in 3, I was doing usually sword and board. I was fighting with a sword and a shield. And, or like some sort of weapon and a shield with heavy armor blocking. More interesting question. You'd personally like to ask, with everything in mind, did you feel like you were fully engaged with every mechanic that fight had to offer? Like that specific fight with that man, like with Dragon Man there, fully engaged with See, I would argue that that fight in particular, I was not engaged with his mechanics. I was mostly engaged with my own mechanics, with what my character can do, and not really having to pay too much attention to the boss. I would argue that that's also not a good example, because that's like one of those weird like invasion boss kind of things. Like he's clearly like just got like a player ability set. But like I don't even know what he did, because I wasn't really paying attention. I was mostly just casting my spells, because that's what I was focused on. Because you know, I would say like when we were doing when we were fighting Midra earlier, that was a more engaging fight, and because I did have to pay attention to his attacks. And I would give an example where there's a couple times in both attempts on that fight where I was too busy. I don't know if I was a little greedy or a little bit of like slacking attention, where I casted one or two spells too much and I failed to realize, oh shit, and then he, you know, dashes towards me and hits me with his sword. Spear, even. And that was me failing to realize, like, pay attention, moron. Like you're that, like, I wasn't too engaged in my own mechanics to realize to you know, and I end up eating shit from the boss. Think they're gonna make any content for Ace? I wouldn't mind. They should do an expansion for Armored Core 6 so I could have an excuse to play it again. Other than that, it's been a year. A ton of enemies designed to work well. Even standard grunts are. Even standard grunts are easy when you're in cover, but a menaces when you try to get mobile, and when the game starts to uncover. Expansion? You want a whole new game? Fuck DLC? Sure. If they say Armored Core 7, I would not be opposed to there just being another Armored Core game. Grand Altar of Dragon Communion. Sometimes having a summon just makes the boss more erratic. If you know how to fight them, you can still get caught on it. I will say the splitting aggro from a with a summon can get a little weird.
Warrior, picture yourself on the throbbing heart of the. It would be the purest, the full, and your. Perhaps you. I am. There will come a.
Okay, bye. Sorry, as I was saying, like the NPCs, sometimes you split aggro with them, where the summon will take the hits and they'll have the boss's aggro, and then you in the middle of a combo will take the aggro off the boss, and he'll do it. Attack 1, 2 will hit the NPC summon, and then the third attack he'll just fucking wail on you instead. Guardians are enemies inducing the same levels. Given a cloaker, their scanner lets you see through the invisibility, and if they're caught, they become tanks with massive firepower. But if you do manage to sneak up on them, you can instant kill them. That reminds me of another game. I think it might just be, there's like a lot of games that do that, where enemy is like instant killable if you sneak up on them, but if you aggro them, then they're just like a giant pain in the dick. It's not the same at all, now that I think about it, but does anyone remember... This is like... Did anyone play Destiny? Did anyone ever Did anyone ever play Destiny 1 and play through the Vault of Glass? This is a deep cut, I know. The Vault of Glass was a raid, and there was one part in it where you go through a labyrinth. It's a labyrinth, and there are these enemies called Gorgons. And if the Gorgon, you have to sneak by them, and if the Gorgons see you, they will essentially, you have like 5 seconds to kill them, or else they will wipe the entire group. They'll kill all 6 of you. And you can, if you all of you focus fire, you can kill one of them and save yourself, but then the remaining Gorgons are... Oh. Cool. The remaining Gorgons are get more powerful. They get more health. So you can probably do 2, maybe 3 of them before you have to essentially sneak. And I just thought of that because I thought of like an enemy that you can sneak around, but you can kill them. I remember that. Sorry, that was just like a sorry. That was like a flawless swan dive. I know, perfect. Did you know that all the magma worms were people who did dragon communication? That's your character's future. Oh, really? I did not know that. So the magma worms were the people who went way far into the dragon drugs. It was like a shared stealth horror thing, yeah. So the whole point of that labyrinth is like you have to sneak through the labyrinth without getting seen by the Gorgons to get to like the next part of the raid and the final boss. And you can, if you fuck it up, then you all die. And there were also hidden chests in the labyrinth that you could sneak to get more loot, but you had to essentially avoid it. If you look at your character's eyes after they eat enough hearts, they're dragon eyes. Oh. 6 has in the inverse. There's armored knights that are immune to takedowns and throwing knives, but you can still throw knives at them to get their attention. You can still poison or enviro kill them. Has anyone played Beyond? I'm doing it again. Here's another. Has anyone played Beyond Good or Evil? Beyond Good and Evil. That's the one. That's what it was actually called. Because that game has a thing where there were these big enemies that were strong, but you couldn't fight them. You couldn't fight them one-on-one, but then you could go behind them, you could stealth kill them. That's more appropriate. Great game. Don't worry, we'll still love you when you're a worm. I'm gonna turn, my character's gonna turn, they're a sorcerer. They're gonna turn into one of those, graven masses, the masses of sorcerer, the big sorcerer ball. Good chat, by the way. I appreciated. I will continue to talk about Elden Ring and Bloodborne or FromSoft in general, the game design stuff. That was good. I so gotta play Bloodborne again. I'm so curious how it feels after all these years. I would say that Bloodborne. It's weird because like the way that like the combat in these games changed. I would say, like, okay, Dark Souls 3 was after Bloodborne, right? Was it? Yes, it was. It had to be. So, in Bloodborne 3, Dark Souls 3 felt very, was much more, I guess you would say, like, loosey-goosey. Your character was much more agile than Dark Souls 1 or 2. And I think it's sort of a result of Bloodborne. Because, like, Bloodborne was, like, the extreme. And I'd say that even, like, Elden Ring's sort of loosening up. Everyone getting sort of, like, oil on their hinges kind of thing. Is from Bloodborne being as fast as it was. And that they didn't go as far as Bloodborne. Bloodborne is still a significantly faster-paced game. But they... No, we did it. We found the whole map. Cool. So it would be interesting to see just how crazy Bloodborne feels in comparison. Talking about games, game design is fun. Design is fun, yep. Games like that should also include enemies that are immune and counter stealth kills, otherwise become too effective. What game? What am I thinking of? What game am I thinking of where? What game am I thinking of where? I'm thinking of a stealth game or some sort of. Oh, what? Oh, I feel like I played it where it was like Oh, you know what I'm thinking of? I think I am thinking of, it might be another game, but I think I'm thinking of the Deus Ex remakes. No. There is a game that has stealth kills, but when you try to use it on the big enemies, they essentially deny you and and they hurt you. They like damage your health. What game am I thinking of? There's probably more than one. But I specifically like it will do the like if you'll try to instigate or initiate the like stealth kill animation on like a big dude, and then the animation will start and then you'll get like denied and your character will take damage. And I don't remember what I'm thinking of. Shadow of Mordor, Shadow Tactics. See, I don't know if say what I mean. Like there are more games than I thought because that's not what I'm thinking of. But that could be also correct. Yeah, I don't remember what it is now. I want to say it's the Deus Ex reboots, the Jensen Deus Ex games, because I want to say that that's a thing. I can't think of anything else though. I feel like it's in my mind. I'm picturing like the anime, like it's there sort of, but it's like half formed the memory. And I feel like I need a Grace. I'm gonna find a Grace, and then I'm gonna look at my Steam library. I feel like I probably played it within the last couple of years. Fuck, what was it? I don't know. It's not Dishonored. It's not. I keep thinking Deus Ex, Deus Ex, Deus Ex, Deus Ex, Deus Ex, Deus Ex. Deus Ex. Remember when Adam Jensen's voice actor was in Starfield? As a cowboy? Remember Starfield? Oh god. Always comes back to me thinking about Starfield. They have what? Deus Ex. What did you hear? Yeah. And bloop. And bloop. See, I like shit like this. I like going down the big spooky hole into the fissure. I'm looking at my Steam library quick. What game was it? You had a combo, or you had a stealth kill, but if you tried it on the big guys, they would deny you and that might be it. Maybe the Batman games. Am I thinking of the Batman titles? Like the Arkham games, more specifically? Is that what I'm thinking of? Where there are certain enemies, like you try to do a takedown, but they didn't. Like maybe that could be it. Maybe that might be one. Yeah, I can't think of anything else. So maybe I'm thinking of the Batman games, or I'm thinking of the Deus Ex games. All right. Well, I'm going to quickly, it's been 2 hours. I'm going to take a break. I'm going to use the bathroom, have a little sip of water, and I'll be back in like 2 minutes. Oh, good night, noob. Sorry. thanks for everyone who's chatting. What was I gonna ask? I know I made fun of it in the title. What in general, I know it's stupid to ask this because everyone's gonna have a different opinion, but what do people in general think the best Dark Souls game is? 1, 2, or 3? I don't know. I think like that's not as. Which one do people think is the best, and which one do people think is the worst? Let's just do the whole thing. Because you like DS1 the best, DS2 is the worst. See, the thing is that I don't know which one is the best, but and again, I haven't played these games in a while. Like a long while. But I used to play them a lot. I played all 3 of them quite a bit. I think, from my memories, and like all the time I think about having played those games, 2 I thought was the worst. I had spent a lot of time playing 2, but man, I don't think that one was very good. I remember really like after Dark Souls 3 came out, I'm like, holy shit, this feels so much better than 2. And I don't know, is it contrarianism? I don't want to put it down to contrarianism. Like what is it nostalgia? Maybe not nostalgia. I don't know why is it just that the people who like 2 are just like really, really vocal about how much they like it? Because it seems that like that's like the thing where it's like so many people are willing to go to bat for 2, and it's like, but why? The best is Kingsfield 1. I see that one guy emote. I see you chuckling. You think 2 is good? Oh no. See, I can understand being like, yeah, I think all 3 of them are good, but like if we had to, you have to say one of them is the worst. You can't say that all of them are good or you like all of them. You have to rank them. You have to say this one is the best, this one is the second best, this one is the worst. Which is it? Because it's like, I would, if again, off of memories, off of just how much time I played these games, I might actually have to play Dark Souls again soon. That's a lot of games, but I remember thinking 2 was really weird and really rough in a lot of places, and it's one of those things where it's like, I went back and played 3 a lot, I went back and played 2, or 1 a lot, but I never played 2 as much. Dark Souls 3 is the best, this is going to get you slapped, but 1 is the worst, but clearly unfinished. Ooh, that's the fucking, that's the, you're going to go with the unfinished, is it the, when going it's clearly unfinished, is it the, is it essentially saying like the back half of the game? Like essentially everything post Anne Rolando feels like half done? Because that is a common complaint. I think that is probably like the most common complaint about 1, is that the game, the game world tanks in quality as soon as you're done with Anne Rolando. As soon as you beat Ornstein and Smo, the final areas just are awful. Bad part of the community exaggerate quite a bit, but the issues point to straight up people to the point people straight up avoiding playing it, and it backfires with the DS2 fanboys getting mad. You like DS2 the most because of how non-linear the game is. You dislike DS3 the most because the game's almost a straight line. It tries to be Bloodborne a bit too much. Ooh, that's an interesting. I was mentioning that like 20 minutes ago. That Dark Souls 3 feels. Dark Souls 3 is like the most well-oiled in terms of how like character movement and animation, and I'm like, this is probably a result of Bloodborne. know you could put your shield up at some time, dumbass. Why am I getting close to you? Generally speaking, DS3 is the worst. Gameplay-wise, you think 1 is the worst? Basically, Izalith being copy-pasted, Capra demons, Taurus demons, and dragon butts really distracted from the experience. What? No way. That's just how it was. That's an authentic Lost Izalith experience. Very obviously not meant to be just a huge empty cavern. The entire city was supposed to be there, and they just couldn't finish it. Here, oh, this is the one that I remember. This one where you come all the way down here, and it's like Mikola abandons his love, and it's like, oh, that feels weird. Why would you do that, Mikola? That seems weird. That seems like a bad thing to abandon. The biggest issue with DS3 was that a lot of the enemy designs are gross. Like, in what way? Like, in that they are, like, revolting? Or what? Like, that they're just, like, unpleasant to look at? Seen you throw away something you should not have under any circumstances. How will you offer salvation to those who cannot be saved when you could not save your other self? Go with the milquetoast one, DS1 first half, DS3, DS1 later half, DS2. You can't split the game in half. I understand that why you're doing it, but you can't. They didn't sell Dark Souls in 2 pieces. You know what I mean? Because then someone could just say, well, the best Dark Souls is all of the good parts of Dark Souls 2, and then all of the good parts of Dark Souls 1, and then all of the bad or good parts of Dark Souls 3. They're just revolting. The fly enemies in the DLC were especially bad. I don't even remember them. Played those DLCs. The weird hand guys? What about the weird hand guys in this game? They made spider hands in this game. The community exaggerates even the implementation of life gems. Well, I just what? So what is the thought about life gems now in Dark Souls 2? Because I remember being like, why are these a thing when I can just like what? Why is this here when you could have just started me with like a couple more Estus flasks? You didn't think they were going to have as many gross enemies in this game, but you got used to it, and that the refund period elapsed? Oh, wow. Yeah, some of the enemies are gross in these games, but it doesn't bother me that much, personally. You thought the 2 fingers was a metaphor for the church? You didn't expect them to be big, rotting hands? Yeah, that's one of those things where it was like... I always wondered, like, again, I think we talked about this on some of the other Elden Ring streams, talking about how much input George R.R. Martin actually had on, like, the lore, and, like, how much of it was changed, like, after the fact, or, like, altered, and stuff. And I've seen things, people saying, like, oh, it was mostly George, or George just did the backstory, or no, it was him. But, like, I want to know, like... Because it's like, okay, so the thing is that, like, if you've ever read, like, A Song of Ice and Fire, there's, like, magic and, like, weird shit, but there's not, like, it's nowhere near as weird as this game, is the thing. And it's like, oh, but this game isn't that. And it's like, yeah, but you can probably judge an author's works based off of his other works. You know, you can take some inspiration. So, like, when it comes to, like, it feels like, I don't know, like, did George R. Martin's gonna, like, yeah, they're gonna be literal, like, 2 giant fingers that are, like, some sort of otherworldly entity, you know? It's funny how much of this game is literal when it first seems to be metaphoric or symbolic. Well, yeah, I do. I think it's like, you can buy a billion of them for cheap and it makes dying okay. So, I think the what's it called? George R. R. Martin did the genealogy and history of the lands between. Pretty sure he's gone to interviews saying that yes, those are his characters, but he rarely recognizes the world. See, I've heard that, and then I've heard the opposite. I've heard people say like, no, this is like what he's like. This is his world, like, you know. Oh, semi-impossible. Okay. Now what? Fuck. DS2's fanboys say you could just ignore the life gems. So I think that for for the world building, before I forget this point, I think like the world building of this game, like the literalness of like a lot of like the stuff, I think this game is trying to go for like almost like a this game feels like it's like trying to be like a legend or like a myth, where if you read like an old legend or myth from in real life, there's like a lot of times extremely like crazy, maybe not even supernatural, but like larger than life things happening, you know, encounters with gods and big giant trees and creatures and stuff like that, and there's like normal people interacting with these extremely, you know, sort of for lack of a better term, crazy things. And I think that's what they're trying to do with the Lands Between. More like epic high fantasy. I would even say it even goes like a step beyond that almost. Right, these things are kind of hard to deal with as a mage. Is there any Dark Souls 2 fans who defend? So okay, adaptability. What is the point of adaptability? YouTuber chick with a male voice. It's just a model. It's just a JPEG. She's just a drawing. There are people who think that Elden Ring is an alien invasion story, and what's spooky is that in a lot of ways they're right. Like the thing is that like I know that it is like it's Lovecraftian in that there's like a big spooky. Like, the universe is spooky and terrifying and filled with, like, a bunch of horrible shit. There's, like, the sort of, the higher powers, or whatever the fuck they're called, are, like, Lovecraftian. Completely indifference towards adaptability. You can't say it's bad mechanic, but they didn't bother to explain what it impacts, aside from iframes and dodge roll. Doesn't adaptability doesn't it makes so that you drink faster? Or am I dreaming that up? Was that like a myth? Was I tricked? That makes roll flames longer, and drinking Estus fast. Okay, so I did remember that. Go get him. Fuck. DS2 is your favorite Souls game. Can you say it loud and clear that adaptability sucks? I feel like the resist that you gain by leveling, but everyone just cares about the iframes. Impacts spell casting, drinking Estus, etc. Why? That is insane. That is actually insanity that they linked how fast you drink your heal juice to a stat. Like, what? What are we doing? No, wrong spell. Fuck. Okay. Not everyone's good at chugging. Ow. Most fanboys can ignore it. Or most is ignore it. It's not stupid. Think it's a stupid idea. Tie adaptability to a normal shit. Casting spells be cool. Most of the argument here is that adaptability is not a big deal, and you can level it really early on and then forget about it later. Well, then at that point, why don't you just remove it from the game? Like, why does it exist if it's something that's like you put your points into it and then just forget? Like, it could just not exist. Oh, this sucks. This sucks. Which dev made this? I want to talk to them. I wonder if actually I can do this. This isn't mana efficient, but... You hear these kind of arguments in videos about Dark Souls 2 being an unassailable masterpiece for context. Oh, that's death. Oh, 6! Oh, this sucks. Is it time for Top's Barrier? It's no, it's not. But like, okay, so here's the thing. You can tell me all you want that it would work. So let's go. Okay, just because you can tell me the tool would work, it doesn't mean I have the ability to effectively use it. I would not be able to time it. It's a spell worthy of a new Conceptious, yes. Yes, it is. I can't use it, though. Yeah, what if we put hit scan laser beams in the game? What if we just put hit scan laser beams? What if there were hit scan lasers? Really? Really, Carrion? Fuck, thank you for waking up. Okay, okay, okay. Whoever made this sucks. Camera, lock on. Target the stone snake. Or not. How you know how the enemies feel when you cast meteor on them? No. No, I don't, because my comet isn't like a 500 range instant shot. I don't have. Is there anything that? Oh, oh God, we could slowly wait to regen. Actually, no, I don't have it, do I? I don't have the blue tear, the red teardrop. It's not instant. There's a travel time of 0.0001 second. I don't remember. I don't remember this at all. I don't remember these fucking laser beam pieces of shit. I'm doing this. I can't even fast travel because I'm in combat. Thanks, camera. Oh my God, I can think. I can fucking hear my own thoughts again. They track you where you are even when they can't see you? Of course they do. Why won't you let me leave? I want to go back to the Grace and reset because I don't have any health left. This is where Frenzied Burst, the Frenzy Incantation, come in handy because you laser-eyed them back. It has more range than their lasers. Oh, come on. What do you mean? I can't open the map here. Why? Oh, fuck you. Go fuck yourselves, honestly. What do you mean? I will admit I hate that you can't open the map in combat. I fucking hate it. No, it's not flagged as a dungeon. It was apparently just I was still in combat. Let's do that again and not waste all my health. You fucker. You fucker. Did you ever get an Ash of War for carrion retaliation? It might be handy to put on the shield. No. Carrion retaliation. Ash of War. Swing the shield to dispel incoming sorceries and incantations, transforming the magic into retaliatory glint blades. Can be used in the same way as a regular parry. Huh. Sold by PETA in Karia Manor. Oh, okay. I had no idea. Once we're through laser hell, I'll think about it. So, does the laser count as physical damage because you can block it fully with your shield? Really? So what? How am I? What am I missing? Why is this so difficult? What am I supposed to do here? Like, what is? Is it to just rush it and hit it with a sword? Yes. Why did you rush it in a yes, yes? Oh, fuck all of you. Oh. All right. It's one less thing to worry about. Okay. There's a bird. Reminds you of the Alvinaric archers. They make the same sound when firing. What's the what is the lore on the balls? Can I get the ball lore? What are these things? You see these things like everywhere in the game. They show up like all the time. I have no idea what they are. Balls. Spellcaster's mind is flabbergasted by the mere idea of frontal combat. Truly, they will never know the pleasure of we fuck it, we ball. Wrong spell. They're ancient constructs of Faramazula, the Sun the Sun Empire. What is the Sun Empire? I've never heard of that. Like I've made the joke before. You guys could just like make up lore to this game, and I would have no way of knowing if you're making it up. Their ancient there's a shield that bears the Sun Realm emblem. The undead warriors have it. Oh. I will manual spellcast these fucking things. Or not. If that killed me, I would have died in like real life. giant golems are from that time too. The Sun Realm is very likely Lusdex's god empire where he ruled his Elden lore. What are you talking about? What? What the fuck? It's one of the major problems with the Souls games is you have to look into the nooks and crannies to find lore about things. And I don't think that that's like a problem with the game. I think that is very clearly like an intent to have it be something that you have to do a little bit of digging to connect the pieces through bits of lore, like through bits of dialogue and descriptions on items and such. But it does make it so that, like, I've never heard of that before. I have had other people who are very big into the lore talk to me during these streams and tell me, like, oh, that's this, and this is that, and this has a connection to this, that, and the other thing. I have never heard the Sun Empire before. Jesse, what the fuck are you talking about? Yeah. Their design was inspired by the worm god of dimensional travel, Shai-Hulud. Oh, the lasers have stopped. Oh no, skeletons! Oh god! It's Tomb of the Giants. One day the skeletons will rise up. I don't know if mankind is ready. Oh, ugh. Ugh. I got an idea. You like that, you fucking blob asshole? What is the lore on the slimes? This game has a lot of slime. What is the slime lore? What is the slore? I like asking when random things in this game have lore because half the time I do it like as a joke, and then someone goes, actually, the slimes are, and I'm like, wait, no, you're making shit up again. I'm being memed, right? Oh, god damn it. Was that lightning? What the fuck was that? There was like a flash from outside. It might have been lightning. Oh. Oh, that was like I heard the thunder. I'm gonna look at the weather quick. I'm gonna look at the weather on my phone. They said it was gonna rain, not that there was gonna be thunderstorms. I guess it's a result of death being taken away as a concept. The one you just killed is dregs of putrescence that fell from the stone coffins that are stuck in the walls of the place. Okay. Oh yeah, there's a storm happening. So are these coffins just like... So is that like just like a mishmash of like bodies in these coffins? I'm assuming there's bodies in these coffins? The lore is reusing assets is cheaper than making new ones. Ah. I see. Oh, lightning. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, so it's about 13 seconds. 13, 14 seconds. Did you read the lore on gold-tinged excrement? It never gets cold or decomposes. Gold-tinged excrement. Gold-tinged excrement is highly stable substance. It doesn't dry out, nor does it lose its customary warmth or scent. For better or worse, it remains as it is. Putrescence is the essence of life that the ancients used to do feats of incredible power. These coffins contain the bodies of the ancients, and the ancients came over the ocean from the old world on them, not making this up. What is the old world? Who are the ancients? Okay, also, this is something I didn't... okay, we're in the Shadow Realm, according to the map. Is the Shadow Realm a physical location, or is it like a pocket dimension? Does this place, like, exist in, like, its own area of the world, or are we in, like, some sort of weird dimension shift? Oh, they're all asleep. Oh, because of whatever Saint thingy. I remember that the flower saint is down here. Sleepy saint. Marika came from this place. It was cut off from the rest of the world. What? Is this a dive off into the abyss moment? It was a real place, shifted to a pocket dimension and veiled because Marika can't stand the things she had to do to maintain the Golden Order. There was a whole thing where they tried to wipe out the Hornset or something. Oh. I wonder if we're gonna fall into a boss arena. A boss arena. Putrescent Knight. Oh, no, no, no! It's the Orphan of Kos, but a horse. But with a boomerang sword, well... Oh, the Orphan of Kos. I remember, Halcyon, you said that, like, the enemies gross you out. Did you ever play Bloodborne? The enemies in that are fucking disgusting. Now we got a PlayStation 4. Ooh. I like how that one comet flew right around him. This is a reskin of the cave where you fight Midair in Dark Souls 3. It's also the cave you see the furtive pygmy hiding in the cutscene of Dark Souls 1. Oh, wow, really? It's an interesting little bit of background production lore. That enemy very much looks it's evocative of the Orphan of Kos from the Bloodborne DLC, the Old Hunters DLC. The final boss is the Orphan of Kos, which is like the orphan child of one of the old gods, and it fights you using its own, like, attached placenta as a weapon. Yeah. Fun. Fun game, that one. You also forgot to mention that the orphan never shuts up. Yeah. Noises. Ugh. I hate that fight. That fight I fucking hate. My favorite fight of that DLC is Lady Maria. So explain to me Saint Trina. Someone, okay. I think someone mentioned, is this supposed to be a part of, someone mentioned that they're a part of Mikola? They were like, or something like that. Also, do I have to do, oh, lightning, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 seconds. Oh, that is a rumbly thunder. Holy shit. Saint Trina is Mikola's alter ego, like Merrigan Radigan. Ah, they're the same entity with different facets. It's like a part of Mikola and Ass. Ah, okay. Do I have to do... am I able to do the thing where you die repeatedly here, or is that something for later? Does that do anything? I don't remember what that does. Is it just lore? It just gives you more dialogue? Oh, okay. Well, then forget it. Cool. Mountain. Oh, we could also go to the weird Fingerland. Oh, and Tholier gets jealous. He abandoned his lover. Abandoned his love. Oh, okay. Mikola ripped Saint Trina out of himself and cast her down here. And Saint Trina is like his love. Okay. Like his embodiment of that. Okay. Neat. So like what is Mikola's, like, he wants to make a kind world? Is this sort of like is it trying to be like a like he loses himself in trying to obtain his goal kind of thing? Because he's constantly shedding pieces of his essentially being. As you go through the Shadow Realm, you find more and more of his essentially essence like cast off, and that it's like he's so caught up in his own trying to achieve what he wants that he just essentially like he becomes the villain kind of thing. You think he never had it to begin with? It's Griffith's story from Berserk, trying to make the world better and ending up making it worse. Oh, so I missed a fragment there. That was smart. That's interesting. It's a classic. You know, live long enough to see yourself become a villain, or careful when you fight monsters, lest you become one kind of thing. Become the thing you're trying to fight. Is it even raining out? I'm sorry. Oh, the rain turned on. Sorry. It's fucking thunder. It's very spooky. Cliff. Fuck, I thought that was... Oh, oof. Brave glove work. Basically, in order to become a god, a principle, a new imperial system, he must shed all contradictions in his very flesh. Did, I think I wondered this last time. So, was this expansion expected... Was this expansion potentially meant to be something that you could access at level 1 at some point? Or, like, at the... Maybe not level 1, but, like, closer to the start of the game? Because I feel like the fact that you can find, like, all levels of upgrade material in this area makes it feel like they were going to do that at some point. Because you can find, level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to 10 of stones of both type and of the glovewort. And, was this originally going to be something you could have done? Oh, is it just, okay, is it just so that it's easier to upgrade items from the DLC? Okay, well, yeah, no, that makes sense. They always do that? Okay. Oh, yes, yeah, to be fair, yeah, you can do these games at level 1 if you're skilled enough. It just takes a lot of skill and patience, but, yeah, I didn't even think of that. When's the last time I played a FromSoft game DLC? This is one of the larger DLCs, though, too, like, that they've made. Okay, so now, next lore point to explain. What the fuck are these places? What the fuck are these locations, these finger ruins? These places feel very Lovecraftian. They feel very much like something out of like in terms of being like bizarrely alien. Like unknowingly alien. Playing through this DLC would be similar to playing Bitter Black and Dragon's Dogma at level 1? Okay. Like, Christ, these places are strange. Unusual areas generally mean it's another outer god, got a rod of the Formless Mother. Because, like, it's just, this place, these areas are scary. Like, this is kind of unnerving. No, fuck you. You fuck. What? What happened? He just came out of nowhere. Can I play the flute here yet, or do I have to go to the other one? neat. You'd think that something spookier would happen. You know, you would think you'd end up summoning an eldritch god doing that. You don't want to. You don't want to blow into the giant hanging foreskin? Why not? It's another. The Mother of Fingers is an invading eldritch god from another dimension. Jesus Christ. Is the lands between just like a nexus for all these like fucking ethereal otherworldly powers to try to like invade? Sure seems like. How are things? Yeah, you saw my videos and happen to see you live. I'm great. I'm doing well. I'm surprised that the videos. Not surprised. I am happy. I am delighted that people are finding the videos and are enjoying them. So that's cool. You'll explain if you're going when you're done driving. Yeah, please don't drive and watch the stream. Or you can don't type and drive. Watching the stream fine, but Jesus. How do you do people watch streams while they drive? I want to ask that question because or like in transit or something when you're like if you're on the bus or whatever. I just feel like that's like I don't know, maybe data plans are better. But yeah, please watch that. Don't watch the stream. Yeah, that's what I meant. It's like you can have the stream on over like, you know, you know, you can, you know, if you have like Bluetooth in your car, you could have it like the audio playing. Don't watch the stream while driving, please. Carmageddon roleplay. Don't even answer calls while driving. Yeah, I only answer calls if I have my phone hooked up to Bluetooth when I'm in my car. I wouldn't actually pick my phone up to answer. Well, my family is like the worst for that. My family like will I'll be driving to some sort of family event or like we're meeting up for like lunch or something and I'll be and they know that it's like, okay, I'm going to have to, you know, I'm going to be on the highway to get to them. And they know that it's going to take me a decent while. And so they end up, like, texting me. Well, and it's like, I hear my phone buzz, and I can see that it's like, or I know that it's them texting me. And it's like, just call me. Just call me. I'll pick up the phone through the Bluetooth. I don't have to, like, you know, take my hands off the wheel or anything. I could answer you. I could tell you that I'm going to be there in 10 more minutes. Why did you send me a text message? Listen, you want me to put an audio on and listen like a podcast? That's what I was going to ask. So if you're doing like, if you're driving or on public transit and you're listening to a stream or like a video on YouTube, are data plans better? Because I guess they are. Because I remember like, God, it would have been like 10 years ago now. I made the mistake of doing that on of listening to a stream in my car, and I think it was going home from home from college or something at the time, and it was just like, oh, I hope you like all these extra data charges, by the way, because you used 800 gigabytes worth, not really, but like you used 24 gigabytes just watching that stream or having that stream on while you drove. Good job, idiot. Data plans are much better. I guess it depends on your carrier. I think my plan is better. It's just I'm still in the mindset. I am from the time period where smartphones started to become more of a thing, and like data plans were like at the time very limited, like in terms of the amount that you got per month, and then also very punishing in the amount of extra charges you would accrue if you went over. You know, where it's like if you went 5-10 gigabytes over your data plan, it's like, I hope you like paying another $30-40. You got a prepaid plan still. try to forget that a car is just a fast-moving... I try not to forget that a car is a fast-moving metal box and will not protect me well if you run into something very fast. Well, it'll do the best that the designers can do, but there's only so much they can do to resist physics when you're going fast enough or crash into something sturdy enough. There's only so much they can do to resist the laws of the universe. Wear your seatbelt. Oh god, the other day I saw, this is the wrong, oh, there's not another, oh, I guess there isn't. Does this not lead, wait. Does this lead out? Should, right? How we doing? I'm doing great. Laws of physics don't care if you need an arm or a leg, yeah. I saw a guy like a week or two ago. I was driving to the store and there was a stoplight, and it was really weird because he was driving very slowly, and like he was driving very slow, like 10, 20 kilometers under the speed limit, and it was very weird. It's not like a very fast road either. It was only like a 50. So he's going like 30. And he's driving very slow to roll up to the stoplight. And he turns into the left lane, and I'm behind him, also in the left lane. Green light, advanced turn light. He isn't going. And so I hit my horn, and he suddenly drives. We turn, and I drive by him, and we stop at another light, or we're pulling up towards another light after that turn. I drive by him, and I can't show you that, like, how he was literally, he had his both hands on his phone with texting with his phone maybe 2 or 3, like maybe 2, 3, 4 inches from his face. So no hands on the steering wheel, looking down at his phone with both hands holding it, like his face like buried in it while driving. And I almost had like a fucking conniption right there. I was gonna stroke out. Like, what are you fucking doing, you fucking fool? So that was fun. Typical day in Florida. Ryan, you saw someone reading a newspaper. Go 60 miles per hour on the highway. Getting more attached to Nez, yeah. You find the panic. Like, there was one like years ago now, probably like 3 years ago, driving home, and there was an old woman in the car in the lane next to me. We pulled up to a light, and she had her window rolled down. It was it was in the summer. It was nice and warm, and everyone had their windows down and such. And the woman had her phone on like you know, like those little like mounts that you can like attach to your dashboard, and you can, you know, slip your phone in there so you can see it. And so she had her phone in one of those, and she, well, like one hand on the steering wheel, barely paying attention to the road, she was playing a game on her phone while driving. She was, I was like right next to her, like pulled up right next to her, and I could see right in at the perfect thing. She was playing some sort of like slide puzzle game, like a match 3 or something like that, like Bejeweled type thing, on her phone, and not like at the light, which isn't good, but like green light, we start moving, she's still playing on her phone and like turning her head back and forth, like looking straight ahead, drive, turn to look at her phone, turn to look at her phone, match three, back to the back ahead, turn to look at her phone, turn to look at her phone. And I was just like, oh, she had to get her dailies. She had no time to fit them in elsewhere. That was something else. And it's funny because I am overly paranoid about the rules of the road for my own personal safety reasons, and it's a joke. My family and friends say like, you drive so slow, like you drive so slow. You're like, you barely go over the speed limit ever. You drive so slow. You're like the most paranoid driver I know. And part of the reason is that despite people getting away with all this crazy shit while looking at their phones and stuff like that while driving, I know that if I started to speed, or if I started to look at my phone or get distracted like that, a police officer would materialize out of nowhere to pull me over and give me a ticket. So I don't do it. The universe, God, whoever would make an example out of me and go, Yeah, or a deer would materialize in front of my car. It's not you gotta watch out, it's other people, yeah. You sympathize with Patrician's hatred and fear of driving culture. See, I love cars, I like driving. It's just that some people, man, they need a good smack in the head in terms of how they drive. You know, in terms of how they drive and in terms of, you know, being willingly distracted while driving. You know. There's a difference between, oh, you changed the radio or your climate control and you got distracted for a little bit. That's not good, but that's more excusable than, like, I don't know, playing fucking Bejeweled on your phone. Do I have to fight a dragon? I ignored these guys the first time I went and played this DLC because it's like, there's probably a bigger, meaner dragon to fight. So when a boss has like a generic name like this, I'm like, it's not that important. The boss isn't called Zanzibar, the Concealed or whatever, so I can't really deal with this. Defensive driving is the way. Ultimately, not everyone's willing to do that. Yep, yeah. I went to, that's probably why I have some good habits, or maybe some overly paranoid habits. I went to driving school, and they were very much on, like, the defensive driving. Like, you've got to be, like, you have to essentially be number one responsible for your own safety while driving, and so it requires you to be more conscientious of what you're doing, and you know, be ready to know when to stop, to know when to swerve, to know when to accelerate, to know what you need to do to make sure that you stay safe, because yeah, can't keep pursuing convenience and expect people to remain sharp-minded. I hope, if that's real, Echo, that sucks. I knew someone I know, a sibling's friend, was a similar thing where they had a similar thing where they were in a car accident and one of them died and the other one was very seriously injured, and was you would say a life-changing injury because of that. They were hit by someone, I think, who was distracted or something like that. I want to say either distracted or drunk, which, you know, you could say that being drunk is a form of distracted driving. And joke about that? Yeah, no, then yeah. Sometimes it's hard. I know some people are not flippant, but a lot of people, levity is when you talk about something serious, it's easy to just joke around as a form of managing how serious this can be. It's not nice talking about stuff like that. See, this guy's got a name. His name is Sexnax, so, you know, he's, like, more important, but, like, still, goodbye. This kind of reminds me of, very vaguely, it kind of reminds me of Dragon's Dogma 2, going up to the mountain where you fight what's-his-face? You fight the dragon. The dragon. No one got time for that? Yeah. Best man sent into a car accident, not wearing a seatbelt. Never, ever, ever not wear my seatbelt. What is this avatar? It's a JPEG of an anime girl. A PNG, technically. Animated PNG of an anime girl. There's no need to be upset. She can't harm you. It's my I did that. I put that on there. I made that a thing. You didn't like Dragon Dogma 2 had no iframes and long stagger animations? Dragon's Dogma 2 was strange in a lot of ways. Did it to yourself, yeah. I think Dragon's Dogma 2 was a very flawed game that had some good bits, and yeah, that's it, really. This mountain sucks. So much buildup. Wait, do I have to do anything to get... Can't you summon the man to help you? The yelling man? The BAYLE man? Oh, I want that. That was yellow. That means it's good. Oh. I talked to him when he was on the ground. Is that it? Do you have to do anything more than that? I heard him yell about, like, curse you, BAYLE, all that. Did a full unarmed playthrough of DD2. It was pretty fun, but you wouldn't do it again. Sometimes Elden maybe you don't remember to kill the dragons. You have to kill the dragons to summon Igon. Really? Shit. Don't think so. Yes? Oh, conflicting reports. You know who would know? Probably the wiki. Find Igon near the Pillar Path waypoint site of Grace and talk to him. After climbing the jagged peak and defeating the jagged peak Drake, he will start screaming again. Oh, god damn it. So you have to beat the first Drake. He'll give you an item and ask you to summon him, and then he appears at the top in which you can fight him, or fight with him. Okay. Alright, back down the mountain. Is this before or after the... Oh, let's just go back down. This is before, right? No, this is after. We have to go back. Or wait. Is it up here? No, we have to go down, and then we have to go way down, because this is down here is the one with a name. And then... Ah, shit, would it be... But then there's so much... There's no other graces along... I guess Foot of Jagged Peak. That would be the easier one. No need to trap it there, but yeah, we have a few outer gods and the lines between the Formless Mother, the Death God, the Rot God, the Greater Will itself, and it's unclear if the Frenzied Flame is one too. Alright, I have to fight a dragon. It's like my least favorite thing to do in these games. Mostly because of this, the Fire Breath. This game does have a little bit of that similar thing that Bloodborne does, where Bloodborne starts out as one type of game and then is like revealed, in terms of its themes, it starts out as one thing and then is revealed to be a different kind of horror. You know, Bloodborne starts out as a gothic horror where you have werewolves and you know, plagues and people with top hats and shit. And then it gets revealed that it's actually a cosmic horror and that there's nightmares beyond your imagining. And Elden Ring kind of does the same thing, where it's like, oh shit, everything here is all fucking weird. Oh my god, the fucking rain just turned on. It's like a typhoon outside, holy shit. hate dragons so much. Bloodborne's your personal favorite? Mine too, from like, but I haven't played it in ages. I'm really looking forward to getting emulation running for it so I can play it again, because I really want to remember how good it is. Or how bad it is. Maybe it's aged like shit. We'll find out. Bloodborne is your white whale. You have no PlayStation? Yeah. I literally bought a PlayStation 4 back in the day to play it. That's literally like I'm gonna spend all this money to buy a PlayStation 4 to just play this one game that's coming out in like 8 months because it looks so good. They got an emulation for Bloodborne to work properly? I've heard that, yeah, that like the game is pretty good. Yeah, so there you go. You've been like, yeah. I've heard that it's essentially, yeah, you can do the game. Oh, there he is. Where is he? I hear him yelling.
A warrior true, if ever.
Where are you? I can't see you.
A fellow Drake warrior. Eagle.
Do you see him? Oh, there he is.
Do you not remember? Conjure your past. How once you were.
I was working emulation for Demon Souls. I would be curious about that too. I've never played Demon Souls. I would be curious to at least try it. This guy's got spirit. I like him.
Drake warrior. Dear friend, grant me this one wish. Take this finger, my finger. Scale the jagged peak. Face BAYLE the dread. And when you do, summon me. Summon my soul. My limbs are limbs no more. My heart is twice over filled with fear.
It's jank as fuck, but it has one of the most unnerving areas in a Soulsborne game. Oh. Like I said, I'd be willing to at least try it. I don't know if it'd be like a full playthrough, but I would, like for you know, for like completion's sake, to be able to say like, yeah, I did play it. I have played it. I have given it a go to see where it sort of all started. The patient zero of the Soulsborne games and all of the imitators and people trying to emulate the style. As was the style at the time. Basically Dark Souls 0.5. That's, I've heard similar. So do I use summon from a sign? Okay, so I just gotta find a sign. Sign? At least push yourself to Latria if you do. Okay. Similar mechanics to Bloodborne. No bonfire, no flask, no bonfire resetting it. Okay. Yeah, you have. I know. I've seen like bits and pieces over the years. Like you eat grass to heal, right? His summon sign is right in front of the fog wall on your very first fight against Wait. It won't summon until the summon sign won't appear until the boss spawns? Oh, okay, on the first attempt. Alright. This very much reminds me of how, of the arena you fight the dragon in Dragon's Dogma 2. Ho, 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 ho. Oh, okay, I'm kind of trying to feel this out. I'm trying to see what he's doing before I start casting. So I know a lot of people really hate this boss. Why is that? Also, what is his lore? Oh, fuck. I blocked that. Holy shit. Didn't think I would have enough for that. That was dumb. Good use of your juice. Oh. Oh. Whoa. Oh, are those like real wings or like ghost wings? Some of the maps are really good and some of the fights make you realize how easy you got it with Capra Demon's alleyway adventures. Huh. Do those attacks count as fire or lightning? Because we might stick a resistance talisman on. Fire is fire and the lightning is lightning. You know, see no reason to like Plusodux and just like BAYLE. They seem to be about the same ballpark difficulty. They are fire and lightning. Good. Good. Shit. You know what? We might also put. I'm gonna switch one or two more flasks over to red for this. Stack one resistance and use the talisman. Stack resistance on armor and using the talisman for the other. So what do we got? What do we got stat wise already? What's our lowest stat for resistance? Fire or lightning? They're both about 50. Fire 53.5 or 9 for fire, 51.5 for lightning. So maybe just put the Bolt Drake talisman on. We have the 3rd rank one. That now gives us 62 lightning. Anything that's more fire resist? Lance armor. I don't want to be too heavy. I think I'll see how this goes with just extra fire. I am running out of rune arcs. Someone tell me where to farm rune arcs so I can do that offline for next stream. Or are they just like not farmable?
Curse you, BAYLE!
Bats?
Hereby vow, you will rue this day.
I don't know what I thought I was doing there. Oh my god!
Might be foul dragon, and I will riddle with holes your rotten hide. With a hail of harpoons, with every last drop of my being.
He's going. Whoever they They got like just some guy and it's like, okay, we need you to yell your heart out about how much you hate this fucking dragon. Boop. 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 Oh shit. Damn it. Good job, team. Didn't know what was happening. BAYLE is the first of the drakes, the devolved offspring of the ancient dragons led by Placidus. BAYLE did battle with Placidus and ripped off 3 of his heads. If you look close, they're still attached. Huh. Item discovery helps increases and rats or co-op. Okay, yeah, co-op, right. Co-op. Good place to farm rats is the Ailing Village on the Weeping Peninsula. There's a bunch in the church. Oh, like the weird, the crazy village up here, right? Somewhere, right? Ailing Village? Somewhere around here? Is that what I'm thinking of? Yeah, that place? Okay. He's gonna do his speech again.
I hereby vow you will rue this day. Behold, the true great warrior, and I, Igon, your fears made flesh.
Can your spirit ashes be hit by grab attacks? Ow. The mimic tier can. Okay, well, that makes sense. I should just rolled into that. I did it last time.
With a hail of harpoons, with every last drop of my being.
So it can puppets in the mimic. Get to be human, okay. I don't know how I didn't get hit by that at that time. I think I just iframed through that, or it was just like a little far off. Oh, I'm stuck! Oh, I'm stuck! I'm fucked. I'm corner fucked in his leg. I don't know. I tried to dodge that one. This fight doesn't seem that, like, it does seem like this is just people, so I know that, like, I remember when the DLC first came out, people were like, fuck this fight, I hate this fight, it's stupid. I remember hearing that a lot. This just feels like another one of the many fights in these games that are, like, big guy that you just, like, kind of, you just, like, go between his legs and he kind of has trouble getting you. That's what I get for saying this fight isn't that bad. Out of rune arcs, too.
A true great warrior.
Using dragon incantations makes you immune to grabs. Depending on the playstyle, so I don't know, yeah. No more rune arcs, so no more extra juice from the rune. Curse you, BAYLE.
A true great warrior, and I, Igon. Your fear, solid of scale you might be, foul dragon, but I will riddle with holes, with a hail of harpoons, with every line.
Damn it. Point blank AoE. Fuck, I thought I hit the dodge. Anyone remember Vinny beat BAYLE in his first try? Like Vinny Vinesauce, the man with 1,000 builds over the course of this game? That must have been funny to watch. Every stream, he was like, it was like every time he found a new weapon, he had to use it.
Curse you, BAYLE! I hereby vow you will rue this day. Behold, a true great warrior. Your fears.
I want to point out, I think you should not be able to have messages in the boss arena until the fight is over. Because these pieces of shit cunts, that's what I'm just, they're cunts, they put messages over the summon signs because they're really funny. They're really funny people who should be... You can fill in the blank. You know what? Just kill me. Fight very cool. It's bad. Yeah, the bit rate, stream bit rates hate shit like this. There's too. It's the particle effects. It's all of the fire and lightning is just the streams don't like that. They just kill it. Also blame Twitch because Twitch has a very low, well, not very low, but doesn't have a very high bit rate allowance anyway. Curse you, BAYLE. BAYLE. People love putting messages next to bonfires and this stuff, been like that forever. I think it should not be allowed in the boss arena until the boss is, like, they should disappear until the boss is beaten. Oh, okay. Okay. Whatever. Yeah, sure. Cool. That counted as a hit? Go fuck yourself. That actually was fucking stupid. What do you mean that was a fucking grab? That he got me there? I knew he had a grab attack, but like, that was insane, that fucking grab. Okay. DS2 style hitbox there. Okay. I'm starting to see why people don't like this fight. Of course. Of course. That, what was it, the second or third attempt got him down to like 10%, and now I can't even get him to 90. Okay.
A true great warrior. Scale you might be, foul dragon. Behold your rotten hide. With a hail of harpoons. With every...
No, 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 no. Oh, fuck. Whoa. Oh, I'm gonna pay for this. That was stupid. Oh, he gets faster. Oh no. Oh, the follow-up. What? There's more! He has more attacks! What? Uh, I just can't see what's going on when those happen. Oh, now you don't want to do anything right away. Oh, fucking good start, dumbass. Good start. What, like, why is it I get down to I get it down to like 10%, and then the next 5 attempts I can't even hit him. Gotta fight like Igon. Oh, curse you, BAYLE. Wow, I'm genuinely surprised he didn't hit me there. What if we made a dragon but bigger and fightier? God, I hate breath attacks. I fucking hate breath attacks. Fuck. Oh, fuck this dragon. Does Igon do anything? Is he even useful in the slightest? I'm annoyed. I'm sick of his speech. Emotional support. Does a ton of damage. You could just be everyone could be lying.
You will rue this day.
You could all be lying.
Right. And Igon. Your fears made flesh.
You saw him whip a few harpoons. Great.
But I will riddle with holes your rotten hide. With a hail of harpoons. With every last drop of my being.
He can solo the fight if you heal him. Oh. I can't do the hide under his head and hit him with the Moonblade strategy in the second phase as easily. Also, he explodes a lot during this phase. That is also an issue. No. Oh. Okay.
BAYLE the
I like that fight, actually. You know what?
You shall haunt me no longer.
What are you doing, Igon? Okay, goodbye. I will say, outside of some of the particle effects being too particle-y, I will say most of those attacks are extraordinarily heavily telegraphed. I would say, and that's I think it makes it like eventually I realized what he was doing. Like every time I saw him do something, I knew that like, okay, so he's going to breathe. He's going to use this attack. He's going to hit below me. He's going to hit, you know, like he's going to swipe and he's going to do, he's going to swipe and then he's going to do an explosion with the swipe because it's charged up with lightning. Like all of that was pretty visually easy. Yeah, I would say if it was a little toned down some of the particle effects, it would be a little clearer, but it's easier to tell. It's easier to tell what's happening if you stay in front of him. Most of the dragons easy to fight when you learn how to focus on the head. I feel like, yeah, when you focus on the head, also he's I don't know, for me, even as a mage, getting up like under his neck seemed to be like a decent spot to be. Because I just, a lot of my damage was just doing, like, getting, like, up under his neck, hitting him with the Moonblade, which would do a shit ton of damage. And did you see there was a point, I think I inflicted Frostbite on him? It did 10,000 damage. It took a chunk out of his bar. So that was kind of cool. His body's in the room after you reload. Like, in here or outside? I'm guessing he's, like, maybe near the... Maybe near, like, the door. Easier to tell. Dodging abstract dart. Yeah, frostbite rules. Yeah, this Moonblade spell is one of, like, the best spells in the game. It pierces, it has that blade, or like that slash effect. The frostbite buildup is really cool. Frost is percent based, like bleed. So it's bleed, but cold. You can, I know, I have another chat. Plagueling was like, he told me, it's like, you gotta learn how to do frostbite resetting with like a fire pot. And it's like, please. I'm like, the thought of me being like, in this fight, in particular, hitting him with the blade until he gets frostbite, and then switching to a fire pot to chuck it at him to reset it is like, yeah, that's never gonna happen. I'm too busy dodging lightning. Base of the mountain. I'll check I have the page up. Return to where you fought the jagged peak. Okay, so we go back to where we fought the Drake, which is, yeah, there he is. Egon, still. It's fun to go from Frostbreath to Firebreath and back. It's like playing Skyrim. Well, you cast Yol, and then you cast whatever the Frostbreath is called. Breath, even. BAYLE. That was cool. I like that. That was fun. There he is. Oh, poor Igon. This man loved screaming. Armor of the broken Drake Warrior Igon from a set comprised of a miscellany of parts. Filthy belongings are attached to this tattered piece of protective wear. The poor scavenger of battlefields found honor through dragon communion. Egon's great bow. Great bow fashioned from 2 dragon bones, bound with coarse rope, covered in gashes left by claws. Imbued with Egon's obsession, enhancing the power of Egon's harpoon. It's so funny that Skyrim, everything goes back to Skyrim, or to Skyrim, yeah. Every Skyrim dragons scream hot and cold at each other. They thought it was so cool that it's like, oh, the dragons like are talking to each other when they fight and when they scream. So it's like, isn't that really cool? And it's like, sure, you know,